Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, September 7th, 2021, and this is FlossTube number 32. If you are new here, this is a channel mainly about cross stitch and other things that I might stitch up, which should include quilting and generic sewing and stuff, but mostly I talk about cross stitch. So this weekend, I woke up Sunday morning and I checked my subs and I reached 300 subs. So to all of you that have subscribed, thank you. I don't normally look at the analytics of my whole channel because a lot of that, I'm just kind of like, I'm not an analytical person. But I did notice that 50% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. It just helps my channel grow, gets it out there, more people can see it. And not that I feel like I have, you know, the most important things to talk about, but, you know, it does increase awareness about cross stitch. And I think that's important. I think in this day and age, we need to get to where people are doing more with their hands. It's relaxing, you know. And I just love it. I want people to know about it. So that is my push for my channel today. So if you're not subbed, subscribe, please. Make me feel better about myself. Not really, but you know, it does help the channel grow and get the word out that cross stitching is not just for grandmas, because I'm not a grandma. Anyway, yeah. Anyway. So today I am going to start off with my finishes. I have one finish, and that is my Erica Michaels ABC Block E. I finished it last Tuesday after my video. And this right here. So this is the specialty stitch. Don't ask me. It starts with an E. I really need to bring my things with me. But anyway, I realized after, and I posted this on Instagram, I realized after that the trunk was supposed to be 2 browns. Each leg of the stitch was supposed to be a different brown. And I did not pay attention until after I had stitched the trunk of the tree and was excited. Oh, excuse me. I was excited that my stitches actually came out nice, but you can't see them because they're the same color. Anyway, so this is the letter E. And this is done on 28 count even weave. I'm doing all of my blocks on 28 count even weave. And this is just, I believe, something maybe from Hobby Lobby or something. So there it is. Yay. And so that's my finish. That's my only finish. Anyway, so I started I got a new start, and that is A Mighty Fortress is Our God by Heartstring Samplery. It is part of the, I need to slow down, y'all. I feel like I'm running a mile a minute. This is my new start. It is Heartstring Samplery's A Mighty Fortress is Our God, and it's part of the Sunday Stitches blocks. I have been getting them since January, but I did not start them until I think maybe May or something, so I only have a few of them done. But I started. This is done on a 32, I believe it's 32 count mystery even weave. It is something that I picked up at a thrift store. And you can see right here, it is modeled on this side, but it is white on this side. It is old because it was in a package with another even weave, and I couldn't find that package with another even weave that had the same modeling but in blue, and I did something on it earlier in the year. So it's not whatever the brand is that screen prints on. But anyway, so this is my start. I'll take my pen out. I started this I believe Friday night, maybe. I didn't get much done this weekend. And Monday, my husband was off of work. So we just kind of hung out. And so that's what I got done. I'm using the called for DMCs, DMC conversions. That's it. That's what I have done. Yeah, so James was off and we didn't do a whole heck of a lot. We just kind of hung out at home, but you know, we just, I don't know. Well, I can tell you why I wasn't in the mood to stitch. Because my fabric didn't come in yet. I'll talk about that after a while. All right. So then I did the Stitchography, which is through the Fat Quarter Shop for World Cross Stitch Day. So I caught up to this week's right here. I'm trying to stay on track, but you know, if I stay on track, I stay on track. If not, I don't. But this is fun. This is mindless to me because it is letters. Like this word is off, but it should be scooched over to right here, but I didn't worry about it. It's not going to affect the design a whole lot. Everything fit, you know. But that is that. And then this is what it's supposed to look like right here. So I think this week we work on this part right here. So that's Stitchography, and you can get that on Fat Quarter Shop. And it was like maybe $5 for the pattern, not a whole lot. It was not expensive at all. Okay, and I'm doing that on 14 count white Aida that I inherited from my mom with the Call for Cosmo. It came with a Cosmo thread pack. It didn't come with it, but I bought the Cosmo thread pack. And so I'm using the Cosmo floss. It's good. You know, it won't replace my DMC, but it's good. It's not bad. You know, somebody gave me, like I said last week, if somebody said, here's a whole set of Cosmo, I won't say no. All right. I pulled out America because Merritt Crawford pulled out hers, and every time she pulls out hers in her video, I think I need to get working on that. So this is America by Calico Confectionery. I started this in April. You know, it just looks like, oh, they're just letters. No, it's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, it's a beautiful stitch. I love the letters. I love her charts. Yo, I'm sorry. Anyway, when last I showed this, I'll show you right here, this whole, these three were off, the blue. I was doing all the blues, and somewhere they got pushed about 2 stitches off. Normally I would finagle it, but it wasn't gonna, I tried and it just looked bad. So one day when I didn't really feel like stitching, I ripped them all out and I started over. So this is where I'm at. I did the blues, a little bit of the whites you can kind of see. The red was, I had already started that, you know, several weeks ago, months ago. So this is America by Calico Confectionery. This is 14 count that I coffee tea dyed myself. And so that is what I've done. So most of it was ripping, but I was able to, you know, at least kind of get back to where I was. Not all the way, but at least partially. What I had done was I had basically replicated each, you know, instead of looking at the chart, I looked at what I did before, and I made a mistake somewhere that just threw it off. So anyway, read your chart. My lesson for today, read your chart. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I had to get that cough out. So anyway, just need to drink some water. Anyway, so that's all I stitched. Not a whole lot. Like I said, it was a weird week. My husband was off. It was just kind of, you know, we didn't do much. We didn't do a whole lot. Okay. So the reason why I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done was because I was ready to start Sampler September with a sampler. But my fabric that I ordered from 123 Stitch decided to take a tour of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Started out in Louisville, I don't know. Started out there, went to Dallas, went to Fort Worth, went to Dallas, went to Fort Worth, went to some small town somewhere, back up to Dallas, back to Fort Worth. Then finally the post office was just like, it's late, but it's going to be arriving. So Saturday afternoon, it arrived at the post office, but my driver was already out for delivery, and Monday was Labor Day. So, still no fabric. And what's funny is I made that order, and then a week later, I made another order for some floss, and they will both be arriving today. So one of them on time, one of them a week late. I know they're probably blaming the hurricane, COVID, lack of employees, you know, all that stuff. So hopefully it's arriving today, but tonight we have small groups, so I won't be starting it tonight. So anyway, I am going to talk about, just for, hopefully not very long, my oldest whips. I have two older whips that I started back in the 90s. When my husband and I were first married, I took up cross stitch because I realized that he was more into college football than he let on when we first started dating. So he is a huge college football fan. In our first year of marriage, I was able to identify college fight songs by the team. It was something we would do. I was stitching and he would say, whose fight song is that? Whose fight song? And I was able to, you know, identify them. Anyway, so I started stitching, and this was, you know, we were married in '89. So it was something I continued doing up until we had children. And I couldn't leave my stitching just laying around like I do now and like I did then. It would have been something I would have had to pick up every day, and it just became too much. And I actually, at that time, really got into quilting. And so quilting was something, you know, I would do while the kids were sleeping or whatever, and I could just close the door and they couldn't get into the sewing room. So anyway, in the process of us having children, we moved several times, and these boxes just kept getting moved. They were Rachel's sewing stuff. They were the same country blue Rubbermaids from when we first packed them up in the 90s. And my oldest son was born in 98. And so that's when I became a mom and put away my stitching. And so there are some things that I am finding that I'm like, I forgot I started this. One of them I knew that I had, and every now and then I'd see it and think, gosh, my husband's would be like, you need to pick this up and finish it, because he really liked it. And that is this one right here. That is Summer Breeze by Paula Vaughn. One of the first pieces I ever stitched was a Paula Vaughn, and I really like her charts. I still like her charts. They're very pretty. Anyway, so that's Summer Breeze by Paula Vaughn. And this is where I am at. And this is when I used to masking tape the edges. Let me see. I'm going to try to find the way this goes. It goes like this. It needs to be ironed, obviously. I did leave the pin in this one, the needle, and so there is a little rust spot. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and finish it, and hopefully the rust spot will get covered up. So this is where I'm at. I did not do much. This is a Paula Vaughn from, I wonder what, 1991, which is probably when I started. That's about when I started. This one, I would say it was probably 91, maybe a little bit later. So with this chart, I found this right here. And so I just kind of assumed these were the colors, and they might be. I don't know. I haven't checked. This is how I used to store my floss. And I'm going to get onto that topic after this. So this is how I stored my floss. You know, that way I could just you know, leave little bits and pieces in each bag but I would put them on bobbins. And then when I was done, I'd put them in a bobbin box. So that's this. Well, while we were going through a box in storage, I came across another old whip. And that is Silent Night. Now, both of these, I found the fabric with the stitching on it, but not the charts. So I had to buy the charts again. I'll probably find them as soon as, you know, I'm done stitching. This is Silent Night by Carol Emmer. And, you know, it's from 1990. So, you know, I'm sure I started that. With it was this bag of floss and the stitching. It's right here. It's like a Joseph, most of Joseph, Faceless Mary, Faceless Baby Jesus. So that's this right here. So I decided I was going to go through and I was going to put the floss for Silent Night in bags. And then I pulled up the baggie and this was written across it. Summer Breeze. So I was like, okay, so the floss with Summer Breeze, is that Summer Breeze or is that Silent Night? I don't know. So this is just in this bag, still labeled Summer Breeze. No idea what it's for. It's barcoded. I don't know when DMC started barcoding things, but the barcoded labels they're paper. So they're not the plastic. So they are old. So I don't know. Anyway, so my goal is to work on these. So anyway, I kitted it up. I went ahead and I pulled every color floss it needed out of my existing stock. And I kitted up Silent Night. So I'm hoping to kind of work on this a little bit on both of these. I want to get these done. I like them. I still like them. Silent Night will probably stay up year round. Because, you know, we do celebrate the birth of Jesus year round. You know, something to be excited about. So anyway, so those are my two oldest whips. I do want to put stitches in them at least once a month. Maybe focus on a day and just really work on them. They are on linen. I am assuming when I kitted them up back in the 90s, I kitted them up on the called for linen. I mean, Silent Night definitely looks like it. Back then, our my LNS was huge into cross stitch. She was big into needlepoint and cross stitch. Now it's mostly needlepoint. In fact, the Ada that she sells is still in packages like this, you know, the old school Ada. So there's not a whole lot of cross stitch stuff. She does have DMC and an anchor display. So, I mean, you know, there's that. But anyway, so I need to figure out if this is definitely Summer Breeze or if this is Silent Night. Go figure. Look at that sticker, y'all. If that doesn't scream 80s, I don't know what does. Anyway, so those are my two oldest whips that I plan on working on. You know, like I said, at least once a month, I want to work on each one. So I'll pick a day and just work on it until I can at least show some progress on them. So floss organization. Hang on. Floss bags. So when like I showed, when I first started stitching, I put things into floss bags. Not sure the brand, but these are from Hobby Lobby. These look the same. We didn't have Hobby Lobby. We had Cloth World, which turned into Joann's. That's where I would get most of my floss. I do put my floss on bobbins. I like them on bobbins. I'm not a huge fan of floss drops, maybe for specialty flosses, but for things like DMC, I use bobbins. So I had actually started in this little cabinet right here, organizing my floss on bobbins in bobbin boxes, the little tackle box looking you know, the bigger versions of this. Just dropped everything. Bigger versions of that. And then I was watching City Stitcher, and she showed how she keeps her things in floss away bags. And she kind of talked about that. And it reminded me that that's what I used to do, is I would put my bobbins in a floss away bag, in a, you know, floss bag. And then I would, you know, as I used it, I would just stuff the extra. See how it's loose in there with the bobbin. So I didn't have to rewrap it. So when I finished with the color, I would just shove it in the bag with the bobbin, and I didn't have to rewrap it onto the bobbin. So I think I'm going to go back to that. Now, when I do work on a project, I just have blank bags that I keep them in, and I just shove them in the bag, and I don't label them because, you know, the bobbins are labeled. So anyway, so that is how I am going to store them. But I have this cabinet right here that I bought specifically for storing the little floss boxes. So anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do with that cabinet. It does make a handy fabric storage cabinet, and it does have, here you go, see the bigger drawers on the bottom that I could put the floss away bags in, and it would work just fine. So I think I need to figure that out. You know, like I said, I do like when I'm stitching just to take the bobbin and the loose threads and just shove them in a little bag and be done with them, and not have to worry about rewrapping or whatever. So anyway, so that's what I plan on doing. I figured also if I use the bags, I can do that with the anchor spools. They'll be a little chunkier, but you know, I could keep them together, not have to rewrap them around the spool. So anyway, so that's my topic, is how I store things, and I'm constantly changing my mind about how I store things, but so far this makes sense to me as I'm stitching, to just shove them in a bag, zip up the bag, and when I go from one project to the next, or if I want to put it away at night before I go to bed so that when I wake up I start something different, I'm not winding thread back on a bobbin. I'm just putting it in the bag. So anyway, that is my topic, my oldest whips and how I plan on storing my thread. Anyway, you know, let me know how you store yours. I know a lot of people use thread drops, and I like them. I like the look of them, but I'm just, one, we live in a very humid area, so that kind of concerns me. And dust, I'm just, my oldest son has a dust allergy, so dust is kind of a concern for me. You wouldn't know it looking at my clutter everywhere in this bag is. There you go. So dust has always been a concern. So having, you know, thread just hanging there, I would feel like I had to dust them often, and I hate dusting. So anyway, let me know how you store your thread, your floss, whatever you want to call it. But I think I'm going to go the way of the bags, because this allows me to, you know, because I have a lot of floss that I've inherited, bought at thrift stores, and whatnot. You know, like this, I have 2 of this color, and you know, I don't want to have to wind them all up. So this just makes sense for me to have it done. And I don't know, maybe once I'll wind it up, I'll stick it in a bobbin box. I don't know, but I do like the bags. So let me know below how you store your floss. Do you use the bags? I know a lot of people don't like them, but I'm thinking that's what I have to do. I don't know. We will see. I can change my mind next week. All right, that is it. I hope y'all all had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. If y'all were off, I will see y'all next week, Lord willing. The creek don't rise because we've been getting a lot of rain. But I will see y'all next week, and happy stitching. Bye.